I'm indeed very happy to present my new book, Goan-ness Unbound, Exploring Decolonial Abundance. गोंयकारपण or Goan-ness, we can't define. एक कोडीन गोंयकारपण कितें सांगूंक जायना. तें जायतें कितें आटापता. It carries our lives, it carries our aspirations, it carries many pasts that we live, the present and the future. And अशें आसतना, I say many pasts because there are no singular pasts. Many communities live differently with memory, the past, everything, and everything is collected together by Goan-ness. So Goan-ness cannot be singularized in representation. You cannot say this is Goan-ness. The moment we say this is Goan-ness, we limit it, we empty it. That's why it's unbound. There are no boundaries. It is always in the making. It's always in the coming. It is always Goan-ness that is Goanizing us and Goa. Goans, Goa, and Goan-ness, they meet together. And it is this Goan-ness that makes Goa, Goa, and Goans, Goan. And this is what has been studied in this book. I like to present Goan-ness to the world, not just to Goans, because Goan-ness has got something unique. Goan-ness is not looking for pre-colonial purity or pristine past. There is nothing lost after colonization. Goans did suffer. Goans went to a lot of loss or pain of colonization. And yet, Goan-ness was formed while the colonizer was colonizing. That's interesting that Goan-ness was actually repurposing what the colonizer was doing, reorienting and redirecting and changing. And therefore, there are decolonial thinkers, there are post-colonial thinkers that I have been trying to study and try to see Goan-ness in the light of this decolonial theories as well as post-colonial thoughts. And so, in this process, I find very important work, Taiwu, Anti-Decolonialism. He is an US based Afro-American thinker who is telling us that decolonization has to be rejected. And why he is rejecting it is because decolonization takes upon itself as a victim of the past and wants to recorrect the past in the present and the future. So it claims that we are victims of colonization. And that's where he have problems and questions this position. Goan-ness also does not think there was some pristine, pre-colonial, something that we lost. What has Goa become is as a result of coming together of colonization and Goans. While Goans created Goan-ness, they resisted colonization. That's why I like to think about Goans and Goan-ness as not objects of history. They are not victims of the past. They are not just crumbling under colonization. They created a Goan culture, Goan music, Goan cuisine, Goan architecture. There was a lot of things that came. Konkani became the lifeline of Goan way of being. And so Goan can go anywhere. They still carried Goan-ness wherever they went during colonization. And also now, post-colonially, if Goan-ness have gone to England or Goans have gone to England, Goan-ness has traveled there. In several ways, there are several Goan-nesses. It's not one in a singularized manner. It is multiple. And that's why it is excessive. I cannot define it and say this is Goan-ness. It has multiple layers and several levels. And that is the reason we think it is decolonial abundance. I like to think about abundance in a different manner so that we get the point. You know, there are three orders of life. The first order of life we all live is the order of the market. I have 100 rupees and you give me something worth 100 rupees. This book is, I think, almost 500 rupees worth, published in Delhi. So if someone pays for it, it will be given to him. This is the market order. I give in order to get something. This is one order. This is not Goan-ness. This is not abundance. I want to understand what is abundance. Another order is order of loss. And when we think of loss, I am ready to lose provided somebody else loses better. Somebody else loses more. I am ready to go through that pain. I'll give you an example. It is given by Slavoj Zizek, one of our contemporary philosophers. He said, one day God told one man or a woman, let's say, that he will give whatever that person asks to him. You ask anything, God says, I will give you. And what do you think the man said? But God gives one more condition there. God says, but I will give double what you ask to your neighbor. So you ask whatever you want, without condition I give you. But the only condition is, whatever you ask, your neighbor will get twice, double. Now, what will this man ask? Or that woman ask? The man or that woman asks, it seems, Zizek tells us, that God, take away one of my eyes, provided my neighbor goes blind. I will put up with one eye and I want my neighbor to suffer more. This is the order of loss. Now, Goan-ness is not of that type. The order of abundance is different. The order of abundance is just like nature. Nature just gives. I live next to a river. The river just gives and gives and gives and gives without counting fish. We all get coconuts, mangoes, fruits, flowers from trees. They have not looked at our face. They don't look at our face to give us, let's say, mangoes, coconuts, flowers. Just give and give without counting. It's very close to God. The rain is raining without counting. The sun is shining, giving light without counting. That is abundance. And that's why unbound Goan-ness cannot be limited, cannot be closed. It is disenclosed. It has boundaries, but they are loosely bound. And therefore, what I wanted to bring in this book is this Goan-ness is very good antidote to reactive responses to colonization. I find this in the work of Mignolo. Walter Mignolo is an Argentinian decolonial thinker. And he thinks that colonizer has taken away a lot from us. He has put the matrix of power in front of us. And this matrix of power operated over us. And we lost all our pristine, primeval, romanticized past. And therefore, what decolonization means is to give future to this lost past. Can you find an echo in India of this kind? There was Jai Shai Deepak, who wrote India, that is Bharat. He has 3 books, big, massive books, in which he is talking about decolonialization. And decolonization is recovering what is lost. Can you find this echo in Hindutva? Hindutva says, Colonizer has made us victims. We have lost something precious, and that loss needs to be recovered. So there is a loss recovery dynamism which is thought as decolonial. But Goan-ness is interesting. Goan-ness is decolonial, but it's not about loss and recovery. It's about creating a present and a future. And that is what our Goans did. They were not reactive, but they're proactive. They suffered, and yet they created a present, a happy, content present, and we call it Susegadu. Susegadu, our culture, our Goan-ness, is not a rat race against time. We don't run against time. We live with time. We live alongside time. We live with contentment. And this is what I have been trying to portray in this book. Goan-ness is made of many, many, many elements. Konkani is one important element. The first part of this book deals with Goan-ness in general. The second part of this book deals with Konkani, which is very, very central and important for me, which constitutes our Goan-ness. Without Konkani, perhaps Goan-ness may not have been possible. This is one important insight that has come to me through study and reflection. And yet, Konkani is not enough. I have about 7 chapters on Konkani in this book, though I have another book dedicated to Konkani itself. But here also, when you are talking about Goan-ness, you cannot do it without talking about Konkani. Konkani politics, Konkani culture, and Konkani as a language. That's why that will be dealt in this book also. We have other areas of Goan-ness. Areas of Goan-ness are our cuisine, our music, our architecture, our religions, our tourism, even several other local customs and things that we consider as Goan. In fact, Goa makes us Goans, and in turn we Goanize Goa. That's why this intermingling of Goan-ness takes us to human life. To be human in Goa means to be a Goan. And that is what we are trying to be. We are simply humans. But to be human for us is to be Goan. Goans can go anywhere in the world. They take Goa and Goan-ness together. That's why I'm a pluralist. I don't close Goan-ness. I want to say there are many Goan-nesses. And as Goan-nesses are flourishing in other parts of the world, outside Goa and within Goa, it is for us Goans to recognize the preciousness of Goan-ness. And it is there in the land, it is there in the air, it is there in the festivals, it is there in our marketplace, it is there in our schools, it is there everywhere. Goan-ness cannot be cited in one point. It is everywhere, and it makes us what we are and what we become.